He's like, when we come out here, God, we got to play the role. We got to be extra safe, like as far as safety, you know, on top of our gun safety, because these dudes is looking for any reason to tell us to get off of the range. You know what I mean? They don't like us coming out here. And the funny thing about it is, in the hood, and by hood I mean in here in Atlanta, you know, anybody can have a gun. Almost everybody roll around with guns out here. Almost everyone, because it's easy to get a gun. The thing that I notice is, if you come out here on a Saturday in the springtime, there's not a whole bunch of men out here. There's families out here. And like you just made a mention about the little girl, the little kid. They have their children out here training on Saturday mornings. Our children are sitting there playing video games and watching Saturday morning cartoons. So when we come out here, they're kind of looking at us like, what made y'all get it? Because we're not coming out here looking like straight military dudes all the time. We have hoodies, True Religion's on, you know, he dressed like he dressed, and they get a little curious, and they don't expect to see us out here. So anytime somebody passes you a weapon, you always want to check to make sure there's nothing in the chamber. Look through the clip, make sure there's nothing, pardon me, through the magazine, there's no magazine in here. It's good, it's safe. So before we walk on, he puts his ears on for his protection as well as his eyes. Now when we go on the range, some basic rules. Whatever weapon we use, we never put our finger on it until we're about to destroy something. Never put your finger on the trigger until you are literally getting ready to destroy something. So, for instance, with this weapon right here, I always hold it down, I always hold it away from someone, and my finger is not on the trigger at any time. The way my grip is, I keep this part up as high as possible, my thumb here, and I ride my thumb. This weapon is a little different. It's a compact, an XD9 subcompact. If I keep the thumb up too high, the slide won't lock. The slide won't slide back on the last bullet or the last round. I'm gonna show you something with pistols. When you shoot a pistol, make sure it's clear. So when you shoot, you don't. Most people pull their trigger and then let it go. Pull the trigger and let it go. You don't shoot like that. You can't really hear it now, but you can actually feel it. When I pull my trigger, I let it go just to right there. So when I pull the trigger and it shoots, I let it go right. I'm doing it slow so you can see it right there. That's when you shoot again. Right there, shoot again. Right there, shoot again. What's improper is to shoot and let it go all the way back out, because it'll mess up your aim. It'll make for inaccuracy, make for more mistakes. Also, the gun is really, you can feel it click. When it clicks, it's telling you now you can pull it back again. You don't have to release it all the way to shoot. Also, it's a timing thing. If you're in a firefight, you want to be as accurate and fast as possible. Boom, let it out. I mean, let it right here, shoot, let it right here, shoot, let it right here, shoot. You can feel, in most guns, if it's a good gun, you can actually feel when the release comes. Most people that are untrained, that use weapons, they shoot and they let the thing go all the way. That's not good. So, see, cut. And we're gonna go over some basics as well. Just to give you a quick thing about this, it has a 3-inch barrel. It's about 6 inches and a quarter in length, and about an inch, 1.20 inches in width. The reason why those specs are important is because you have to have functionality for your weapons. You have to have a reason why you have your weapon. We're not in the hood, we're warriors. We're not trying to hold weapons to be on some street shit. We're holding weapons because we want to protect our family and protect our lives against anybody that come against us. Everybody, if you have a firearm in your home, you should also have some type of plan, for your family. If something happens, if somebody breaks in or somebody comes in, you don't want everybody running off of instincts or running off of fear. You want something where they're trained and they just move off of command. You know, if you're of age, you can walk into a store with no license, no carry conceal permit, and you can purchase a weapon, and they make you wait. They have to run your stuff through the database, and it usually takes a couple of hours, 24 hours, maybe 2 days. If they don't come back with anything saying that you can't buy the gun or you're not allowed to buy the gun within 3 days, Georgia law allows you to actually take that gun and walk home with it without having a concealed carry permit at all. If somebody walks in my house, I can't think about cops coming. I'm the go-to person for my family. I'm the person that actually will have to stop any type of threat and make sure that they're safe until police come and can handle it. So if I'm out and about, it's the same thing. I'm the one that's actually protecting my family. So I use a subcompact because it can fit nice for concealment. So I have my holster in there. I'm not going to pull it out. The gun is loaded. I'm going to do a check real quick. Good. So when I conceal it, if I conceal it right here, it fits perfectly. Without a concealed carry permit, you can keep it in your car and you can keep it in your house, but you cannot conceal it on your person. With the concealed carry permit, you can actually, you know, keep it concealed, walk around with it and so forth, and you know, you get pulled over and you're walking. Like if I go to a festival right now, I can walk around the festival and be armed, and if a cop decides to pull me over, we're good. If a cop decides to pull me over, now we're good. And when I say good, I'm taking it for granted that you know, it could be a cop that want to do us harm and so forth, but legally we still are actually good. In the hood, we're taught we run around with big guns in our waistband, and it's foolish because people can see it. It's hard to get out. If you're in a really dangerous situation, you have a really big gun out, you pull it out, it can get snagged. These are snagless sights, so these sights don't get snagged, but on bigger guns, this can snag on your pants, make it hard to pull out, put you in a dangerous spot. The reason why I like this subcompact is because it's double stack, meaning that the clip, I can put basically more rounds in a double stack gun. The bullets stack on top of each other to allow for more bullets, so this gives me more capacity. One of the reasons why I choose to use a 9 is because if I'm out and about, I'd rather have more capacity rather than quote-unquote higher firepower. That makes no difference. You hit somebody in the right place, they're going down regardless of the firepower you have. I want to know that I have enough. And I keep a subcompact. I don't walk with big guns because this is just to keep it on me. I don't want anyone to know I'm armed. I don't want to always keep it on my hip. Even though it's better to keep it on your hip because you can grab quickly, but you also alert if there is a threat. You're going to be the first thing he notices if you have it on your waist, and he's going to come and get you. I keep this. Usually this is my baby. I love it. It's perfect for me. And made out of melanite steel, which is excellent. When I hold this, I want this part, this little beaver tail, I want to make sure it's gripped good, right? So you see this sight? You line it up in here. Whatever you're aiming at, you want whatever you're aiming at to look blurry in your vision, but this is what you want to see clearly. You want to see that sight clearly. So when you aim, let's say if I'm aiming at a bush, that bush should look blurry in my aim, but that sight should be perfect. I mean, I should have a clear vision on that sight. So I want you to just look at it real quickly. Okay. Exactly. I didn't even peep that. So most people do the opposite. They look and they try to look clearly at the target clear. But for accurate aim, you want this to be clear, your sight. That sight I love that sight on that. That's right. And what we're going to be shooting today, real quickly, before we go in there, is we'll be shooting what is called a Mossberg M590A1 shotgun. It's a military grade, for lack of a better term, it's military grade shotgun. You have different type of Mossbergs out there. You have Mossberg 500, you have a Mossberg 590. This is a 590A1 we'll be shooting off, which means the A1 means military grade. What it simply means is that the barrel is a little thicker, it's a lot more durable. It went through all the military inspections to see how durable it is, because when they're out in the field, they need guns that are going to be reliable, guns that, you know, can, if they're in the rocks and if they're in the, you know, rough terrain, that those guns will still function if they fall on the floor or whatever happened. So we're going to work with that. This has a 18-inch barrel. It's 39 inches in length. The reason why, you have two different ways this could come. It could come in a 20-inch barrel or 18-inch barrel. I use an 18-inch barrel because my shotgun is my self-defense for home. I don't walk around with this in the car. This ain't boys in the hood. This ain't no street shit. This is for my home. And the reason why I want a shorter barrel is if I'm clearing the downstairs floor, which is what I use it for, not upstairs, I want to make sure I can hit those corners without a longer barrel poking out, because I'm in more of a confined space. So that's why it's perfect for home defense. Women, I always say women should get one, because if somebody breaks in your house, you load it off, trust me, that person likely is going to run back out if you hear that. If you don't, then you're protected, right? It's not my wife's duty, it's not my children's duty to protect the family. It's my duty as God. I got to protect my woman and my family. I got to provide for my woman and my family. I got to profess to my woman and my family, and I have to also position them. So being the male's responsibility to actually take care of his family, you should also train your family how to respond when you go out there to handle your situation as well. Come on, keep your... So I let it ride on my face for accuracy so I can brace myself. So it's right here and right here and right here is my walls to keep my accuracy. good. So let's go and get in there. We're going to also show off the AR-15 as well today. The AR-15 we work on is the Ruger AR-556. It's not one of the best ones out there, but it's not a bad gun either. It's really good for just getting in there, starting out. Not as good as the Colt. AR-15s are actually sport rifles. It's the same rifle that you see back in the days in the 60s, 70s in the South, where they had their little rifles and they were shooting animals and they looked very innocent. It's the same thing. The only difference is it's styled after the military rifle, meaning cosmetically it looks like it, but it does not perform in the same function as a military rifle. Those are illegal. So people need to get over that, because they're constantly trying to say we need to ban assault rifles, we need to ban assault rifles, and these are not assault rifles. We're not allowed to have assault rifles by law. And technically every weapon is an assault rifle. And then we also have the kel-tec, the kel-tec 2000, which I spoke about. Perfect for if you're on the go, you can fold it and just put it in. This can easily fold and then unfold. This shoots a 9mm round. It's a carbine, but it's not a rifle carbine, it's a pistol carbine. It shoots pistol caliber. It shoots 9mm bullets. There's some that actually shoot 40. One of the bitches about this is trying to actually load it, because you have to pull it back from back here. And it's hard as hell, so if you're out in an actual real firefight, this can put extra time on your ability to be able to defend yourself, because you got to pull it back, and it's not as easy as to pull it back. And I have to put it on my chest right here to pull this back, because this is a real hard thing. When you're ready, you just snap it, it's good to go. And then we also have a SCAR with us, a 22 version of a SCAR. It's not one of my favorite ones, I don't really like it. This is for my daughter. This is all hers, actually.
So there's 4 different joints here. Yeah,
we got four in here, so we got 5 altogether. So the SCARs are 22. The reason why I keep a 22 at the house is, let's say if you're out and about, like in a situation where, you know, you have to be in survival mode and you have to look for food. You can't find any plants, but there's animals all around you. You shoot an animal with a shotgun, that animal is going to be contaminated. You're going to have to go through a lot to clean that animal up to be able to eat it. With a 22, it's perfect for killing rodents, squirrels, and rabbits, stuff that we know won't necessarily eat on a normal basis, but stuff that if we're in a survival situation, we're going to chow down on, you know what I mean? So the 22 is smaller, just really for killing rodents, not only for food, but in case you make a shelter in a certain open environment and you have to get rid of rodents, the 22 is good for it. You look at the 9mm, this is a 9, full metal jacket, this is my training ammo. This is the 22. See the difference? This is different. This is actually, when it hits you, this opens up inside you. If you ain't there, it's gonna hurt a whole hell of a lot. We're gonna go ahead and, I don't like this, to be honest.
You don't like it? You don't like it because it's weak, or?
Yeah, it just doesn't have the feel. It feels, you know.
It's not a manly gun?
Yeah, you know, exactly. Now this is good if we out and about and I'm like, damn, we got rodents out here. Let me pop these rodents off the land, or you know, we got some squirrel. We going squirrel hunting or something like that. But so this one is different. You pull back from here. If you see right here, see how the bullet is chambered?
Right.
Another reason I don't like this gun is because of this. It's easy to get jammed. It just gets jammed a lot. So now, take it off. You're not gonna hardly hear anything with this. So. And these are the sights, my sights. Right here. I can add, now this is a Picatinny rail. I can add stuff on here just like I added onto here. You see I had to flip the sight originally on this one. You can add stuff on. I love to add on stuff. You remember Harlem Nights? So this reminded me of that. My daughter shoots the 22 up. She's been shooting the 22 since she was 7 years old. It looks like a big gun, but it has no recoil. We have to start getting our children into, like, especially our boys. It's imperative that we actually raise our boys to be protectors of our nation. It's imperative that we actually start raising our boys to be able to protect their family, to be able to protect their women. Too many women, we're looking at women as objects as opposed to somebody that actually is going to be a companion that we have to protect at some point. Because when you look at it from that point of view, you start trying to develop yourself more, whether it's in the martial arts, whether it's you know, getting your education, reading more, you know, learning how basic skills like cooking, firearms, you know, just being able to be men. And in my opinion, and some people may, you know, be against this, but I think this is one of the things that help you build up that manliness, for lack of a better term, to be that protector. That's one of the attributes of Allah, is being a protector. What I want to do is get some of our brothers to understand that they don't have to run out there and be so anxious to grab a gun at a young age when it's illegal, and you know, and end up, you know, facing jail time, but to train them properly, like my sons, where they don't have a need to sit there and say, oh, you know, this my friend got a gun, let me go see it, this is something that's exciting. No, they like, guns are nothing. I come to the range with my pops all the time. If you own a firearm in Georgia, we do have stand your ground in Georgia, and that to me is important. I know a lot of our people are against it because you know, the media sensationalizes stand your ground with the case of Travon Martin, and like a lot of that whole incident with Travon Martin, where our people went wrong, we shouldn't have been trying to repeal the stand your ground law, because the stand your ground law, and granted, yeah, you know, you're in an environment that is more racist toward us than most people that live here, but at the same time, if properly done, if we understood the law and we do it in the right way, it can work for us in the same way it worked for Huey P. Newton when they were over there, you know, doing their thing back in the days in Oakland. And the stand your ground law basically means that if somebody is threatening me, if somebody has a weapon, a knife, a gun, whatever, and they come toward me, I have a right to draw my firearm and eliminate that threat, you know, and I don't have to leave, run, or anything. In states without stand your ground law, basically they, like, I think it's Utah, I can't remember these states, but in states that don't have the stand your ground law, if somebody has a weapon and they're charging at them, they have to first try to seek cover or get away. And if they can't get away or seek cover, then they can fire their weapon. You know how hard that is to prove that, you know, you couldn't get away? You know what I'm saying? You know how hard it is to prove that, you know, you're actually in a situation where you couldn't find cover, where you couldn't, you know what I'm saying, run. So that, and there's another thing, there's another law as well. In some states you're not allowed to, you have to justify shooting someone that enters your home. In this state you don't. So that's important, because if somebody come into my house, I don't want to have to explain to the police why I killed them. I just want to feel safe knowing that I don't have to second guess myself in doing what I have to do to eliminate the threat to protect my family. In states without stand your ground law, or without the law where you can actually, eliminate the threat as soon as they enter your home, you know, you're gonna find yourself more likely facing prosecution or having to explain that situation in more detail. So stand your ground is not a bad law. What happened is, it's not the stand your ground law that allowed people like George Zimmerman to get off. It was, in his case, it was just charging him incorrectly. They went to try to charge him based on premeditated murder, and that was the first mistake. They should have charged him on manslaughter, because it's hard to sit there and prove that, you know, that murder was premeditated, that he actually had intentions of killing Travon that night. He didn't even know Travon personally. All he did was follow him. That doesn't build a case for saying he had intentions, bad intentions to kill him. They should have did manslaughter. If they would have pressed the issue on manslaughter, then that just means that whatever happened, it led to him illegally, you know, firing at old boy and taking his life and whatnot. So it's a big difference in the way prosecutors are trying these cases, and we're ignorant of the law, so we just think, oh, they got off. No, they got off from the time that they went to charge these dudes. And then they have these idiots like, what's his name, Benjamin Crump, the lawyer that, you know, backed up Travon Martin. I think he tried to back up Mike Brown and so forth. This dude is only out for money. He knows better. It's the lawyer's job to make sure that whenever the prosecutor is charging someone, that lawyer for the family should be making sure that that prosecutor is bringing them up on the correct charges. And in most of these cases where you see police officers killing our people, they're being charged with premeditated murder, knowing that it's going to be hard for the prosecution to prove that, as opposed to if they charge them with manslaughter, then yeah, it'll be a lot easier case to be able to get pushed through. I think the reason why we go for premeditated murder is because the lawyers probably geesing the family up saying, hey, you get more time for premeditated murder, which is true. They get less time for manslaughter. Unfortunately, if you get a cop and you try him on manslaughter, he'll get out a lot sooner than he would if it was premeditated. But you at least are getting his ass locked the fuck up for the crime he committed.
If Mecca did this.
Peace. In celebration of each other, we support each other's hustle. Weight Life has sponsored this content. You can get a sweatshirt, t-shirt, or a hoodie at the Common Unity store of a law school in Mecca. Or just simply hit me up. I got the hookup. Peace.